Guys, it's time to update the rear axle on the UDR. Currently, it has the version 1 UDR axle by Vitavon. And although it's been wonderful, it's time to get into this thing, update the insides and also the outside. So, I've got the Planetary sides and the ring gear for the axle right here from Vitavon. I've got upper links right here from Vitavon. And I've got the version 3 drive shaft from Vitavon. And to top it all off, we've got the new version, I believe it's version 3 rear axle housing. So all of this is going into the UDR. Take a look. As far as taking this off, it's just a matter of taking off some bolts. 2mm hex wrench there, 2mm on the Swaybar mount right there, 2.5 right there. Take the drive shaft loose, front and back. Going to have to take the belly off to get to the front of the drive shaft. And the rest is just simply taking stuff off, so I'm going to go ahead and get that part done. Let's take a look at the V1 axle housing. I have beat this thing to death and it has been absolutely wonderful. I mean, just really, I have landed sideways so hard that I broke the axle pins off and the hexes. Those are Afrolucha hexes. I mean, this back end is built a couple years ago. Some of these parts were out just as they came available. So, yeah, it has been an absolutely wonderful axle housing. The arms, the upper arms that I'm replacing, these are from MFR. And these have been super strong. However, as times progress, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Vitavon arms. But these right here have been wonderful. These were some of the first arms to come out when you had the stock arms that were just bending like, you know, a wet noodle. So MFR came to the rescue and put these out, and these have been absolutely awesome. The stock drive shaft. I have replaced a lot of these. Hopefully the new V3 shaft from Vitavon will fix that problem. So those are my old parts. Now let's check out that new axle housing. So I've got some nice little holes in the back where mine didn't. Now these holes, you know, they may look cool, but they also add surface area so they dissipate heat. Now, when I first did that axle, I did that video, I actually showed temperature, showing that the temperature would actually, from the Planetary mainly, would actually go all the way out throughout the housing, taking the heat away from the Planetary. And that's always a good thing because those Planetaries have a tendency to get hot. Now, with this axle design, you get to the Planetary right in the front. With the stock and some of the other brands out there, it's got like a clamshell. It splits right down the middle. But to get that apart, you have to disassemble the entire axle. With this setup right here, you can get to the Planetary right here. You can change these input bearings right here without having to tear into the entire axle housing. Ooh, got nice little shiny pieces on the outside where I've been running the stock plastic ones right there. I should look at coming up with another wheel hex too. Oh man, this is beautiful. So is this. Haha, both of them awesome. The drive shaft right here. Now the Vitavon shaft is quite a bit heavier. Now it doesn't need all that strength down here in the middle, so it's turned down to save a little bit of weight. It has a U-joint design, and I prefer that over the CVD. So now in the earlier designs, the first ones that he put out, these joints actually wore out pretty quick. Now this is a hardened version 3 shaft, so that should be all taken care of. So looks good right there. One of the issues I've had with these, especially when running like a 1650 motor, I've actually got some of these somewhere. They have a groove worn into them because, well, that'll actually hit the motor. That being a smaller diameter will probably clear the motor. So this should work out really good right here. Now let's look at the links. Now the Vitavon is made from a square stock that is turned down and got a nice plastic end. You can see I've got a little bit of a gap there, you know, from my millions of crashes and all that. But they've held up great, so much better than the stock ones. Now the Vitavon, you know, is more of a machined part with machined in ends. Really a beautiful piece. It's a little bit lighter, and actually it may actually help the width of it, believe it or not, may be easier to get the battery cover in place. So now I get to take this thing apart. Taking this apart, you can see right here, yep, another broken axle pin. Possibly from another one of those crashes. Gotta dig those out. There we go. While I'm working on it, I can show you guys right here how that just comes right on out. So yeah, if you had a issue with your Planetary, super easy to work on. It just simply comes right on out. And that is just grease that has flung out. I don't really see any, what I would call sand in there. Looks good. Now it's time to dig into this with the new ring gear and the new Planetary side pieces. Luckily for me again, just like with the transmission, all these bearings are in perfect shape. I'm really impressed at how well these bearings are surviving in such a harsh environment. All my gears look good. The stock ring gear looks good. I mean, this is the one that's going in, so wow. Everything looks really good. This was a major worry point for me when I first got the truck. But you know, I don't really worry about it anymore. We've got everything put back together. It is greased very well. Hopefully I have a little bit more grease stay in the Planetary this time. And now we're just simply going to bolt on the front part, and then I'm going to grease the heck out of that. That little brass spacer you get, well, this is where it goes. I have got it greased, possibly over greased, but with the cavity that's in there, it's just going to sling off, and then you'll end up with another partly dry ring and pinion. If I can keep just a little bit on there, I'll be happy. Now it's time to take these loose right here and get the axle shafts in. Obviously, this thing needed more maintenance than what I thought. Trying to get the bearing off, it's coming apart. So, yeah, maintain your vehicles, guys. Luckily for us, Vitavon has oversized this bearing. When I get this one loose, I'll show it to you. The Vitavon big bearing, right there. Old stock worn out bearing right there. Haha. Wow. I love all this oversized bearings and stuff. I really do. So there it is, guys. Now, for the times being, I'm going back with a set of stock hexes. What's bad about these is you can spin the pin inside the hex and then you have to cut the hex off. Makes for a real nasty repair job. I'm going to look around and try to find another quality set of aluminum hexes for it, but for now, I'll just stay away from the sand paddles. Sand paddles have a tendency to really put the power down, and that's where I have actually spun the pins. So now that this part is done, there is not much slop at all right there, which is actually really good. I like that. That's a good amount. Now it's time to get on to the other parts. Okay, guys, I got the top links in place, and I've been running the hole closest to the bottom. This time I put it in the top hole. I don't know if it'll make a difference. We'll find out. Got the drive shaft connected. Everything is looking good. So now it's time to put the rear axle in place. The new housing is in place and looks incredible. Wow, there's some good stuff in here. So there it is. Whole bunch of nice and shiny back there. I do got to tell you guys, I think my next modification for this is actually going to be replacing the tube chassis. I mean, nothing is straight anymore. This poor truck has not had a good life. It's got a lot of good parts on it, but I have beat on it pretty darn hard. So I might look at getting a whole new chassis for it. Maybe even the new middle. Don't know. But anyway, yeah, that is beautiful. Check this thing out. Beautiful. The grass is high as usual, and also as usual, rain. Almost every day here in Florida. Makes things fun. So traction is minimal. Let's go ahead and throttle it up. Yeah, not much traction at all. Not a whole lot I can do here, and the clay gets really soft when it's wet like that. So, and this thing will pack full and be a massive disaster trying to clean it out. So I'm just simply going to have a little drifting fun for you guys. And roll it. Woohoo! Traction non-existent. Still fun though. Well guys, this was more of an install video than a drive video. Rainy conditions, tall grass just really kind of puts a hurting on trying to drive this truck right here, and I wasn't going to put it in that clay. That clay, I walked over there and my feet sunk in about this far. So this thing loves to pack up with that kind of dirt. So I really didn't want to have to tear everything down and do a full cleanup again on it. So just got some nice drifting and some donuts and some spin outs in the grass. Anyway, what do you guys think of the parts? Upgrading to the V3 rear axle, get a little bit bigger pinion bearing, which is always a good thing. The new Planetary sides, a new Planetary outer ring. The top links, beautiful. Did you see that rear sway bar? Well, hey, you know, that's all Vitavon right there, guys. The MFR lower links, never had an issue with those. They've been holding up great. Wow, Vitavon bead locks. There's more Vitavon on this than there is Traxxas at this point. And Vitavon sells on eBay. There are links in the description for eBay for everything on this truck. And really, from the wheels all the way to the steering stuff that I recently did for you guys, the sway bar, rear axle, you name it, it's in that description. And I always put links in the description. To use them, they're affiliate links. All you gotta do is click on them. If you have something in your A-main cart, for example, you click on that link, it says event link. Well, that's the affiliate that it goes through. It doesn't do anything stupid or anything like that. It just takes you right to A-main. It just tracks, you know, your entry into A-main. Simple as that, guys. So hopefully you liked the video. Vitavon, top of the line stuff. Guys, check that description. Make sure you're subscribed, and thank you all for watching. Have you ever waltzed before? I think I did one time. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. If you guys like what you see, make sure you're subscribed. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. If you really like what you see, consider clicking on that join button down below. With that, you can actually become a channel member. Members get early viewing of many of the videos and, you know, a little bit more personalized. Guys, thank you all for watching.